So, I join you in the dark with my Dr. Pepper Zero to bring you a kind of lazy video. When I came back to the game, I put out a community post asking people what kind of subjects they would like my opinion on when it comes to DBD related topics, because for some reason, over 3,800 of you currently care about my opinion on things. The interesting thing about the responses that I got is that some of them would be things that I've already made videos on. Some of them would be things that purported to know my opinion before I've even stated my opinion. We'll get to that one in a minute. And then some of them were just not enough for me to feel like I can make a full video on. So I thought we would do one of those really fun times where I just kind of read and have as a visual have the comments up on the screen, because most of the time my videos are auditory anyway. In any case, we're going to go from the bottom to the top. What are your thoughts on a hot take? We're not doing a hot take video yet, but we'll go ahead and answer it just for this video. Scourge Hook Pain Resonant should go back before it got reworked because of the Gen Kick nerf throwing something out. So I'm really confused about the Gen Kick nerf because I thought that a generator could only be damaged 8 times in a match completely. Like, no more, no less. You just can't damage a generator more than 8 times. But then I found out that stuff like Pain Res, Surge, in any case, perks like that will deal damage through the gen block. Some people are telling me it's a bug. Some people are telling me it's a feature. I don't know. What I do know is that as of right now, I think that that's not the greatest idea because it goes through the block, right? If it got blocked no matter what, I still think it would be too strong. The problem with old Pain Res was that you were able to basically just continuously cycle the Pain Res off of one hook. And the reason you were able to do that was because a lot of killers have the ability to camp hooks at a very efficient rate. And so Pain Res became very oppressive to people who perfected the ability of camping hooks. You would hook one person, camp just outside of a radius where they wouldn't notice you. As soon as the unhook would come in, you would swoop in, get the down on the next person, hook them, pop the gen again, then you would back up, and you would just repeat the cycle until people were the survivors were 6 hook states in, and then they finally figured out how to get that person off the hook and not go down, but no generator had been done. It was just way too powerful. And as it stands right now, you can pain res through a block. So even, granted, if you've gotten 8 hook states and you still haven't won the game, most of the time that is either because the survivors are playing very, very well or you slipped up somewhere. But at the same time, I just think that new pain res is fine. I've never disliked the pain res rework. I've never disagreed with it. It's balanced now. It's still strong, but it's not overbearing, and so no, I don't think it should be reverted. There's some other replies here, but I'm not. We're just looking at the original comments. Do you think the blood point grind should be increased or decreased, such as increasing or decreasing blood points gained per match or challenge? No, I think blood points are fine. It could be a little frustrating when you first start. I personally believe, and there's another question that's going to ask something similar up in this section, but I personally believe that when a player first starts the game, for their first month, every resource that they get, blood points and iridescent shards, they should get 5 times the amount for the first month that they play. I'm not kidding. I truly believe they should get a dickload more than everybody else, just so they can catch up with the rest of us. Because at this point, with Chapter 30, what is All Things Wicked? Chapter 33, I think. With Chapter 33 coming out, there's going to be 255 perks in the game, which is asinine. So they definitely need to look at that. I don't think decreasing blood points is necessary. I think that if we were going to add ways to increase blood points, then we should definitely do something like, adding more perks that increase blood point gain when you do certain actions. I don't understand why we don't have more of those. I think it's really cool. I mean, hell, even just having a perk that just straight up increases your blood point gain, like that's all the perk does, would be something that would be cool to have for both players. I wouldn't introduce it as a character specific perk. I would introduce a new gen perk, especially since with Stranger Things came back, we lost a lot of gen perks. I think that behavior needs to release like more gen perks to the game to compensate for that. But that's just my opinion. Map offerings. I have already done a video on map offerings. I will show it on the screen now. And if I remember, I'll leave a link in the description. But I've already done a thing on map offerings. Too long didn't watch. I hate map offerings. I think they're bad. I think they seriously need to be reworked or removed from the game. Do we need more licensed killers? Once again, I have already done a full video on this. The video thumbnail will be on the screen now, and down in the bottom description should hopefully be there, assuming that I didn't forget to make it. This person says, as for my own question, I myself feel that the game would benefit greatly from the addition of a new Survivor item. I just can't think of what it would be. I actually did a video called 7 Survivor Perks, I believe. And in that video, I introduced a new Survivor item. Was it in that video? I believe it was in that video. Yes. In that video, I released a new Survivor item called the Flare, where you could, the flare worked by dropping it next to certain things and revealing the aura of those things next to all of the other survivors. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I did that video, but I will leave that on screen. Another I've been kicking around is the 5th perk slot. No. I know you, okay, so what if each killer and survivor had one of their teachables baked into the kit and they were the only ones able to use it? I can think of the pros and cons. There is just, adding a 5th perk slot in general would just make, even if you did your restriction, right? Okay, so let's talk about the problems with the 5th perk slot. A 5th perk slot in general would mean that every single character would have an auto-include perk that no matter what their build is. Like some of the more powerful perks in the game, right now the way things are with 4 perks, you might have to slot out powerful perks for perks that synergize better in your build. But with a 5th perk slot, you can make a full synergized build and then add like really stupid strong stuff. Like, so like if I was running, say, a backpack build, which is super synergized, right? Mad Grit, Iron Grasp, Starstruck, and Agitation. I could then throw Surge into that build, and it would never leave that build, and it would just make the build stupid strong. As it stands, I have to pick one of those perks to take out to put in the good perk, or if I wanted just a full synergized 4 perk build, then you have to make that decision. If we were to deal with what you're saying, then it would make some characters far more powerful than others in a lot of different ways. So like survivors, for example, some survivors have perks like Lithe, Dead Hard, Adrenaline that are just really, really good perks. And because they would always have that 5th perk slot available, these characters would inherently be better than other characters. Now, I know when it comes to killers, there's some killers that are inherently better than other killers, but we can work around that a little bit easier. Whereas we go with your idea, then we're having to nerf a perk just because one character can use it really, really well, which was part of the problem with Nurse before they finally nerfed her. This is one of those questions where I just don't know. I don't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's, bro. I think if somebody is saying that something doesn't belong in Dead by Daylight at this point, they're wrong. I personally have been a victim of this hubris. I made an entire fucking video where I said that Chucky would never come to Dead by Daylight, and then fucking like 2 weeks later, they announced Chucky in Dead by Daylight. So And if at this point you think if at this point you believe that things don't belong in Dead by Daylight, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. I don't know shit about Springtrap, but if someone says he doesn't belong, they're just wrong. Filters, overlays, and brightness mods, cheating or quality of life, they're fine. I mean, they're fine. I don't really care. I mean, it's let me explain. It's kind of aggravating knowing that your opponents may not be seeing the same things you're seeing, right? So like if I'm playing, for example, Trapper, and I find a really dark corner and I put that trap down and I'm like, yes, this is great. And then survivors just seem to magically know where it is. And then I find out that the survivor just had their brightness cranked up to 1,000,000,000. I might get a little bit frustrated. But at the end of the day, who actually fucking cares? Like, coming from somebody who takes this game seriously, I don't take this game that seriously to care. Given that you started playing the game relatively recently, what specific changes would you make to improve the new player experience? What game mechanics, if any, were a difficult hill to climb? I find it funny that I'm over a year into this game with fucking, hang on, almost 1,300 hours, and I'm still being told that I've been started playing it relatively recently. But the new player experience is only bogged down. The new player experience is bogged down by a combination of too much information and not enough resources, and I did make a video on that. I think I've made 2 videos on that. I'll find them and then I'll leave them on screen for you now. I'd like to see a video on the slow decline of legendary and ultra rare skins. Okay, so this is the part I was talking about where somebody is assuming my opinion on something instead of asking my opinion on it. So I've read all this already, but I'm going to go ahead and point this out. You believe there is a slow decline in legendary and ultra rare skins. I do not. Especially even looking at older skins. I think there's some good older skins. There's some bad older skins. There's some good newer skins. There are some bad newer skins, especially with some of the collaborations that have been happening. Like, dude, we're about to get the Iron Maiden event tomorrow, bro. There's about to be some sick ass skins in that video. It's today when you guys are watching it. There's about to be some sick ass skins in there. I think it's really ridiculous to be like, oh, they're slowly declining. But it's like, I think you have it in your mind that older skins were just better all the time, and nowadays they're hit or miss, right? Because you do admit to there being some good skins, but you seem to like act like there used to be only great skins. I think more what you seem to not be liking is the fact that survivor skins are like actual skin changes while killer skins aren't. And I will give you that, but I don't think it has anything to do with a decline. I think that skins should have unique characteristics to abilities, not characteristics, cosmetics to abilities, unique sounds. I do agree with you on that, for sure. But I don't think that there's been a decline. I don't agree with your original sentence. Player base been extra friendly lately, and it seems sudden. I don't know where you're getting that from. Most people I've run into since I've come back have been salty assholes. What killer duos do you think would be strongest in 2v8? Too many, honestly. Like, Deathslinger Bubba was a real big problem in the Kaido video. If you're going up against a nurse Blight, that's just GG's. You would have problems with things like trap killers doubling up. So Trapper and Hag would be a problem. Killers who are like really frustrating to play against would be a problem. This is why I don't want this fucking 2v8 mode to begin with. I think it's just one of the dumbest fucking ideas. Cause like I don't think you guys understand like how many killer combinations would be just fucking miserable to play against. Like imagine playing against Legion and Plague, for example. Legion and Plague would be a pain in the ass. Legion and Skull Merchant would make people insta fucking DC. Like, fucking Sadako and Pinhead. Like, could you fucking imagine? Dude, Pinhead and Pig would just be insta GGs, bro. Oh my god. Down them. Fucking down them. Reverse bear trap them. Guard the box. Insta GGs. Everybody's fucking dying. I don't want unique game modes. I want improvements to the current one we have. I have been a proponent of this ever since my Does DBD Need a Ranked Mode video. I do not want more modes. I want the current mode we have to be improved and made to the best of its ability. How would you implement cosmetics for P100 characters? I have already made 2 different videos on this. They will be on screen now. Ranking playstyles from most toxic to less. I don't know what you mean. What do you mean playstyles? Do you mean perk builds? Do you mean tunneling camping? Do you mean, like, you gotta actually, like, give me stuff to rank? Because, like, I think that playstyles are subjective, because it's just so hard to define a playstyle. Has the overall player base changed since you last played? No, not even close. I had a person today, they went down at the top of the stairs to basement. So I hooked them in basement, and then they came into my chat and they said, hooking in basement for second hook was kind of cringe. GG's. And that's the second funniest salty comment I've ever gotten in my fucking life. But that's just this community, bro. They don't change. They don't change at all. I've had, ever since I came back, every single stream, it's been 2 to 3 different survivors. They come in, they bitch and moan and complain because I didn't let them win for free, and I didn't play the exact way they wanted to play. My YouTube videos are full of people calling me entitled blank mains because they don't know how to pay attention. It's just, this community isn't going to change. I actually made a community post. My first game on in 3 months. The first game on, I got called a weird freak for camping the hook at the end game. Literally the end game. Literally both gates are 99, and they got pissed at me because I camped the hook in the end game. This community doesn't change. Xenomorph should not have been nerfed after his initial release. The buff after the PTP made sense because in Alien Isolation you were dead if he finds you, but no, survivors can't use their brains. It wasn't even that bad. Okay, I think I've seen you comment this stuff before, but also this is the same problem as this one. You are assuming my opinion on something that I'm going to agree with you, and I just don't agree with you. PTB Xenomorph was fucking like oppressive as hell. And current Xenomorph is fine. Although I think that there's still like that weird cooldown on there's still that weird cooldown where if you break a turret with your tail, it counts as you hitting an object. If that's still in the game, that needs to go. But everything else is fine. The increased miss cooldown, that was all fine. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Really quick shout out to our channel members. Let's go ahead and pull them up just for funsies. I say just for funsies. I actually need to make sure that I'm getting everybody correctly because, hey, you never know when we'll get some new ones, right? Right now, yep, once again, thank you so much to Nuclear Bomb, Cat Lover, and Spirit Upgrades for their additional support. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, then please click that join button down below. Other than that, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.